Hey, hello, how are you? My name is Mark. What's going on here? What's going on? Okay, let me see if I can resurrect this situation. Excellent, there we are. Hello. My name is Mark. I am Mark Majid. I have a Bachelor of Arts in Psychology. I have a Master of Arts in Psychology. I have an MBA. And I have a Master of Arts in English. I also have GED and 4 A levels. So I'm doing 2 small videos and then I'll go to sleep. Okay, so one of my other videos I explained how to write a basic sentence, which is a main idea and then some other detail that kind of explains why you said that main idea. So, for example, let's look at an example of, for God's sake, I hate technology, a basic sentence. You know, when I first started teaching, I always say this. It wasn't that I was nervous. I thought I would be. But I wasn't nervous at all when I first started teaching. Because I'm in my element. You know, it's a very rewarding job, teaching English and psychology. So I should have been nervous, but I wasn't, because I'm talking about English and psychology, and I'm a master of that. So it's technology that I'm afraid of. You know? Okay, so let's look at an example of a basic sentence. I really love English, it's amazing. Okay, so let's see here. I double tap. Yes, there we go. This is an example of a basic sentence. Let me think of a good idea here. What can I think about? Let me think of a good idea. I know. I like to listen to the Deftones. Right, let's look at that. I like to listen to the Deftones. Yes, this is the first part of a basic sentence, and it's called an independent clause. Right. So imagine this. Whoever's watching this video, imagine me and you. We've gone to a cafe and we've just ordered a cup of tea, and it's silent. And all of a sudden, I say to you, whoever's watching, out of the blue, I just say, I like to listen to the Deftones. You might, what? I said, I like to listen to the Deftones. Okay, cool. I mean, I like to listen to the Deftones. It makes sense, doesn't it? It's complete. I like to listen to the Deftones. Okay, good. However, I haven't explained why I like to listen to the Deftones, or why I listen to the Deftones. So it's not a complete sentence, is it? Can I, there we go. I can write. I'm getting used to this program. This is a basic, excuse me. basic sentence. I love teaching, you know. The more I learn, the better I become at teaching. Anyway, so I like to listen to the Deftones. So you, whoever's watching this, might say, okay, why? So, yeah, that's a good point. Why do I like to listen to the Deftones? Oh, for God's sake, what do I do now? How do I get back in here? Oh, for God's sake. I don't think I can. I'm really not very good at technology. Let's start again. Right. I like to listen to the Deftones. Excellent. Right. So now, I spelled that right. Yes. Because the music helps me to remember good memories from my teenage years. Yes. This is a complete basic sentence. Oh, for God's sake, what am I doing? Okay, so let's look at this. I like to listen to the Deftones because their music helps me to remember good memories from my teenage years. Right? Okay. So this is a basic sentence. So imagine I'm having coffee with whoever's watching this. And I just say to you, I like to listen to the Deftones because their music helps me to remember good memories from my teenage years. Okay, it makes sense, right? It makes sense. But you'll be thinking, why did you tell me that for? We weren't talking about the Deftones before. Right? So, we need to add something here to make it a complex sentence. That explains why I thought it'd be necessary for me to start talking about explaining why I like to listen to the Deftones. So, what can we add here? What can I add here to make it a complex sentence? Well, if I'm going to make this a complex sentence, I would get rid of this. Okay, so a complex sentence is made up from one independent clause. The independent clause in this situation is I like to listen to the Deftones, and one dependent clause, a basic sentence, which is their music helps me to remember good memories from my teenage years. But we need to turn it into a complex sentence because then it will allow me to explain why I thought it'd be necessary to start talking about why I like the Deftones. So what can I say here? Oh, for God's sake, what am I doing? I hate technology. You want to see me drive a car with GPS? I'm like 100 kilometers away from my destination every time. That's horrible. Okay. I like to listen to the Deftones. Their music helps me to remember good memories from my teenage years. And what could I say to explain why I just I know. On that is playing on the cafe radio sounds to the Deftones. Yes, complex sentence. So, Let's look at this again. I like to listen to the Deftones. Their music helps me to remember good memories from my teenage years. And the song that is playing on the cafe radio sounds similar to the Deftones. This is a complex sentence because it consists of the mandatory independent clause, which is I like to listen to the Deftones, and more than one dependent clause. In this situation, we have two dependent clauses, which are their music helps to remember good memories from my teenage years, and the song that is playing on the cafe radio sounds similar to the Deftones. This is how you write a complex sentence. I thought this would be necessary. If you look at my YouTube channel, I've only updated 4 videos, but these are things I rehearse with my students, my English students, online, because a lot of the time they ask me, they want me to improve. They want me to improve their speaking, and I think if you're going to improve your speaking, I'm not going to say why. That's my secrets. Anyway, this is a complex sentence. Thank you.